Hello students, it's time for English lesson. Are you ready? If you are ready, let's start. Now it's time to speak about grammar. Today we are going to talk about conditionals. The word condition is very familiar to you because you know that there are 4 types of conditionals. And today we are going to focus only on 2 conditionals, the first one and the second one. Now I'm going to switch on the video, and in this video you should pay attention to all grammar rules. The video will be about the first conditional.
Welcome back! This lesson is going to focus on type 1 conditionals. We use the first conditional to talk about things we believe will happen or not happen. For example, if you break the glass, you will get hurt. You will get hurt is the thing you think will happen. It's important to identify the cause and effect in a conditional sentence. We can refer the cause as the if clause, while the effect is the main clause. Besides, we use present tense for the cause, while the future tense is for the effect. Don't forget to put a comma in the if clause. Let's try to form a conditional sentence. You will have 5 seconds to think of the answer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is, if you don't have breakfast, you will be hungry. 1 more to go. Try to fill in the blanks. You will have 5 seconds to think of the answer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is, if I have enough money, I will go to Japan. Once again, we use type 1 conditionals to talk about things we believe will happen or not happen. For the form, we use present tense for the if clause, while future tense for the main clause. Last, don't forget to put a comma after the if clause. Yay! We did it! See you again!
So, well, it was the video about the first conditional, and now the time for practice it. You will see on the screen sentences, 6 sentences. You should join the halves and complete the full sentence in order to complete the full sentence. So the first one. If you don't get up soon, what do you think what it will be? You will miss the bus. The next one. If you are late for class again, the teacher will be angry, of course. Number 3. If it is sunny, we will go to the park. Number 4. If you don't study, you won't pass the exam. Number 5. If we see a restaurant, we will stop and have a lunch. And number 6. If you touch the dog, it will bite you. Good job. Now we can see from these sentences that conditional one we can use only in real situations from our real life. Well, let's watch the video about the second conditionals, and please pay attention to all the rules and to all the information from this video.
Hello! Welcome to my 2-Minute English Fun, a program designed to help you with grammar, better speaking, vocabulary, and much more. Today we're looking at grammar, and the topic is second conditional. Let's get started. This is Maurice. Maurice has too much work, and he doesn't have a lot of money. But sometimes Maurice thinks about hypothetical situations.
If I had more free time, I'd do more sports. If I earned more money, I'd travel more often. And if I didn't work all the time, I'd spend more time with my family.
Let's look at the form now. If I earned more money, I'd travel more often. To form a second conditional, you need the word if, the subject I, the past simple form earned, and then later the subject again I, the word would, and the infinitive travel. If I earned more money, I'd travel more often. The same in this sentence. If I had more free time, I'd do more sports. And if I didn't work all the time, I'd spend more time with my family.
Here's a tip for you. It's more natural to use short forms. I'd travel more often is more natural than I would travel more often. And tip number 2, after the word if, you need to use the past form, if I earned more money, and not if I would earn more money.
And what about you? What would you do if you had more time? If I had more time, I'd tell you much more about this topic. Maybe next time. Bye.
So, it was the video about second conditional, and now it's time to practice your knowledge. Look at the screen, please. There are 5 sentences, and you should fill the gaps so as to build correct type of second conditional. Look, please. The first one. If Sarah had a good handwriting, I could understand her text. The second one. If my computer functioned properly, I would use it more often. The third one. If we had enough money, we would choose another more expensive hotel to stay in. Number 4. If you tidied up your bedroom every day, it would not be in a mess. And number 5. We could stay in Tom's house if he lived in a big house. But unfortunately, Tom's house is not big. Well, so from these sentences, we can observe that second conditional is used for the situations that are hypothetical, that cannot happen in real life. Now, let's talk about structure. If I were you. What does this structure mean? If I were you, when we use this structure, we imagine ourselves in the position of other person, and we often use this structure in order to give advice someone when they have some kind of problems. And if I were you plus would plus verb. If you want to change the order of clause, it is okay. The meaning doesn't change. So, why if I were, but not if I was? You know that with the subject I, we use was, but not in the structure, not in this structure. In this structure, we use only were with all the subjects. Why? Because it is a hypothetical situation and it cannot happen. You can't be on the place of other person. That's why we speak if I were you. Well, now it's time to practice this structure. So, I have given here one example myself. For example, someone complains, I can't sleep at night, and I would advise them, if I were you, I would go for a walk before going to bed, because fresh air helps us to sleep well. Now you have other problems. You can give advice using this structure. If I were you, I would. So, let's check your task. The first sentence, I must buy a present. Well, let's change. If I were you, I would find time to go and buy a present. Well done. The second one, if I were you, I would train a lot to be an Olympic champion. Well done. Number 3, if I were you, I would have a visa to travel. Number 4, if I were you, I would be more careful in order not to burn my hand, as you did. Well done. I like your sentences very much. Now, the next activity is devoted to situation of conditionals, type 1 and 2. Here, given some sentences, and you have to decide which conditionals are represented. In the table, you can see some gaps, and you have to write T1, type 1 or type 2 in these gaps. Let's do it together. Number 1, I will call him if you give me his telephone number. What do you think? What type of conditional is used here? Yes, you are right. It's type 1, T1, real condition, because it is a real situation. Number 2, if you pour oil into water, it will float. This is also type 1 because it is natural process and it may happen. Number 3, what would you suggest if you were me? Here we have structure. If I were you, you were me, which means it's the second conditional. Number 4, if you were here with me now, I will treat you with my homemade cake. Here we have again type 2 conditionals because you are not with me and it is a hypothetical situation. Number 5, will you buy this game if they manage to release it in May? It is a real situation. Number 6, we would sell our car if they offered a better price, but they did not. So, unfortunately, they didn't offer a good price and we didn't buy this car. This is also second conditional. Number 7, If the weather is gloomy, we will stay in the hotel and read. It's a real situation and it may happen. And number 8, if George were here, he would help us. Well, unfortunately, John isn't here and he can't help us. It is type 2, T2. Well done! I hope that all the information in the videos and exercise which we had today was useful and helpful, and everything was understandable for you. Well, the lesson is over. Goodbye. See you next time.